Okay, what you're thinking, my friends? What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? What have you learned? What's being talked about? What's being discussed? What is the latest, my friends? Let's see what your thoughts and comments are regarding the latest. And I don't want hunches. I don't want I think I think France. Yeah, I think France. No, 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 no. Tell me why you think something, what the basis is for what you think, why you think it is, who are the suspects. Do you still think he acted alone, didn't act alone? Tell me what you know. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me why you think what you think. That's the critical part of this. That's the critical part of this. Because what I'm finding is an absolutely fascinating cacophony of thoughts and ideas and the like. And still, my idea is that the evidence seems to be so far that he is the suspect. Okay? Is there anything more? Do we have anything more? Cash Patel is on the hot seat because he's ready to go, because he is incompetent. Incompetent. That's the issue there. The next issue, which is most critical, is what do you think is going to happen ultimately? We'll talk about that. Luigi had some terrorist state charges dismissed, which he should, because I don't know what the evidence is of terrorism versus plain old murder. Those charges stay intact. We'll talk about the usual suspects and the usual ideas, and also how people, nobody is discussing the absolute blast of information regarding allegations of Israel and the pressure put on Charlie Kirk. What do you think that is about? But first, my friend, let me welcome you. Let me ask you, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are subscribed. You hear what I'm saying? Make sure you are subscribed to what we are doing. It is critical that you do this. But before we begin, let me talk to you about this incredible deal from preparewithlionel.com. Right now, my friends, as you know, things that we thought were always theoretically possible. Civil war, false flags, blackouts, EMPs, riots. It was unheard of 5 years ago. It's not tomorrow's nightmare. It's today's specter, perhaps reality. And the systems, the ideas, the units, the organizations that we trusted to provide us with what we needed, they're cracking, they're crumbling. 1 week without food and you'll learn fast. Cash, cards, Bitcoin, even gold won't feed your family. Survival is in theory, it's primal, primordial, instinctual. Food, water, energy, ammo. That's why My Patriot Supply's 3-month food kit matters. Over 2,000 calories a day, 22 meal varieties with a shelf life of up to 25 years. Let me tell you something right now, my friends. This is critical. And as we speak, right now, for a limited time offer to act quickly, you can get 4 weeks free, a $247 bonus. The world has changed. Hunger is the oldest weapon of control. Don't wait for disaster to prove it. Preparation isn't paranoia, it's survival. Click the link in the description. Preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. Secure your food, protect your family, secure your future. Preparewithlionel.com. Do I make myself clear? All right, dear friends, I thank you for being a part of this thing of ours. I ask you right now, more importantly, to ask you, what are your thoughts? Because so far, I do not believe, ladies and gentlemen, that we're getting the whole story, because there's a lot of stuff about this that I'm not feeling real good about, okay? Oh, here we go. Oh, God. Kirk's wife should let Douglas Murray lead his channels. Out of your mind. Douglas Murray is a hack. He is an absolute hack. Ben Shapiro, Douglas Murray, Charlie would roll over in his grave. Do you understand what you just said? Do you know who he is? Do you know the problems that Charlie went through right before his end, his demise? Are you familiar with this? Are you? Tell me you understand this. Tell me you understand what you just said. Charlie would be saying, no, 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 God, no. Look, I'm not suggesting anybody was responsible from any other country, as it were. But what do you think about the idea of what's going on, the allegations? Max Blumenthal, Harrison Smith, Tim Dillon. The idea is that he was petrified, so the story goes. This was Charlie, summoned by the Israeli, not the Jewish, but I guess the Israeli or Jewish hierarchy, and told specifically, back off. What you did at Turning Point by bringing in Dave Smith and Tucker Carlson to openly take the largest youth and student organization, conservative, and basically redirect them as far as Israel? Or have you been paying attention? Have you been seeing this? Look at this. Once the FBI gets a hold of his phone, you don't need to get a hold of a phone. If it's Apple, if it's anything, they have access to that. It's not your phone. It's where this goes to. It's your cloud. No. Candace talks about his pressures. Yes, she's been talking about that. Have you been? Why isn't anybody talking about this? Why? Why? Why don't you like Douglas Murray? Charlie and Murray agree. Do you understand what did you hear the trepidation that Charlie had regarding Gaza and Palestinians? Are you paying attention? No, you don't. See, this is like there's a blood brain barrier between any news regarding what is going on in Israel. Now, I'm telling you right now, listen to me carefully. It's an apples and oranges thing. Nobody is suggesting, Max Blumenthal, nobody really, and Blumenthal has been leading the charge, that because they had a problem, because there were theoretical fears that Charlie allegedly expressed to others regarding incurring the wrath of Israel, or perhaps risking his life, or having his life threatened, anything along those lines. There is nothing whatsoever to indicate that Israel was involved in his murder. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now remember something. When I say there is nothing to indicate, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There's nothing to indicate any involvement from the Klan, Black Lives Matter, or France. In fact, anything else for that matter. Understand the distinction. Why do you see something? Here we go. Look at this. You're missing the connection between the City of London and revisionist Zionism and Muslim Brotherhood, amongst other things. It's called the spider web for a reason. What does this have to do with Charlie Kirk? The City of London, revisionist Zionism, and Muslim Brotherhood. What does it have to do? Coldwater. What does this have to do? What does this have to do? I ask repeatedly. What does this have to do? That's what we say. That's what's interesting. Sheila says, we will never know. There's something to that. There might be something to that. There might be something to not knowing, and for a variety of reasons. Do you understand what I'm saying? It might be for a variety of reasons. But I don't want some, oh, I love this. Look it up. No. Tell me the connection. Don't say look it up. Tell me the connection between them and Charlie. Don't say look it up. That means you don't know. Did Opus Dei have part in the plan? Opus Dei is an evil cult wanting to take over the USA government. No, it's not. Do you know what Opus Dei is? Dei, to be classical Latin. Where did that come from? Seriously, where did that come from? Oh, just gotta say it. The USS Liberty. Gotta say it. Gotta say it. The USS Liberty. Say it. The USS Liberty. We can't get through this without saying the USS Liberty. USS Liberty is critical. USS Liberty is what we have to say all the time. And the Lavon. Operation Lavon. The Lavon incident. Lavon. Don't forget that one. Please, I ask you, make sure you have to bring this up. You must. It is imperative that you say the Liberty. Just bring this up because it tells people you're a member of the club. It tells people, I know what I'm talking about. It tells people, I'm aware of all the jargon. I understand this. I know what I'm talking about. I understand. This is what I'm talking about. Do you get it? Do you get what I'm saying? This is important. I know what's going on. For the love of God, please, I'm one of you. Operation. You have to say this. It's critical. Operation, whatever the hell it is. That's it. Operation, yeah, that's it. Now, I want to know where your information is coming from specifically. Justice for the USS Liberty. Don't fool anyone. Opus Dei. Don't fool anymore. Opus Dei is evil. Why is it evil, Peggy? Again, the U.S. Postal Service is a front for satanic worship. Why? Look it up. No. Why, Peggy? Why? Did Brigitte Macron kill JFK? Yes. Now we're getting something. Here we also say critical mass. What does that mean? Don't know. Just say that. Just say something. Say something critical like critical mass. What does it mean? I don't know what it means. I'm not really sure, but I have to say something. I have to write something. Right, cognitive dissonance. You have to put down the right words. You have to put down the right stuff. You have to make sure you have the right stuff you're talking about. Because what's critical more than anything else, and this is important, what's critical is that you always make sure you let people know that you understand the jargon. Now, here is my question. How many of you wonderful people believe that Mr. Tyler Robinson acted alone? Okay? How many of you believe that he acted alone? That means that he was the sole shooter. He was the person who was involved in this. Okay? How many of you believe that? Very, very critical. How many believe that? Yep, that's it. That's, I'm saying, the idea of you believing that's incredibly crazy because I know how you are, and that's beautiful. But the question is, how many of you really, really believe this? How many of you really, really believe this stuff? How many? Not alone. Alone? How about this? Connie says, not me, the brown ring. Don't know what that means. Not alone. Alone with encouragement. Not me. There's an organization behind him and it has CIA and FBI written all over it. Why, fellas? Why does it have that? Tell me, dear friend. Tell me why. What does it say? Tyler, fall guy, not alone. Better question. How many people think they are getting all the information? Oh, you never get all the information. Stop that one. No, that goes without saying. All I ask is so that we can all learn. Why do you think that? This is critical stuff. Sarah Smith says, in my opinion, he was, yes, encouragement. Well, they seem to be one of the theories, one of the thoughts here, which has been presented, is that he was seeking some type of communication with a group of people, a cabal, ladies and gentlemen, a cabal. And that he was, how do I say this? That he was, let me see something. Let me see. Let me see something. Okay. He was talking to people in Discord. What do you think? What do you think that means? He was brainwashed? Question mark. How do we know? How do we know? How do we know this? Oh God, here we go. Beyond the Threshold: A Life in Opus Dei by Miranda Devine. What does this have to do with him? My Life in Scientology by Emilio Splitkin. My Wife in My Life, the CFR, the Trilateral Commission, A Study in Deception by Ransel Swain Divot Jr. Make the Case. Not, there's this book, The Masons, The Freemasons, A Book of Intrigue by Barnwell Gerst III. The Knights of Columbus, The Unseen Force by Jujubee Dimwaiter. What are we talking about? What would you think about it? I would consider MI6 in that Discord as one possible suspect. Why MI6? Why? Why not ISI, which is the Pakistani? Why not Aman or Mossad? Where do you get this from? Freemasons, definitely. Thanks, Rick. That's good. Yes. And don't forget the Postal Service. Armed queers of SLC indoctrinated him. No, that's what was mentioned. He was living with a guy who was transitioning. Indoctrinated him? There are 340 million people. 340 million people. None of them do this but him. Some indoctrination. Trans people can be quite crazy. So can crazy people who are trans. What came first? Possibly by his train G partner, okay? Okay. Hang on about. Let me see something. Let me see. I'm going to try 1 p.m., honey, for our friend. Okay, can I do that? Yeah, it's okay. Let's do that. We'll close the door. How's that? Sound good? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, good. Pardon me, we're talking. By the way, Mrs. L returns on tonight. Warrior Wednesday on WABC. Warrior Wednesday. You understand that? Warrior Wednesday. Mrs. L. This is so interesting. How do you know anything? Let me ask you a question. Is there any evidence whatsoever that he shot anyone? Is there any evidence whatsoever that Tyler shot anyone? Do you think? Any evidence? Is there do we know that rifle actually killed him? We should probably look into the ROTC. Yep, there we go. Albert Sanchez says, nope. Nope to what? 15 different words ahead of us. He says, nope. To what extent? I like this. Okay, Lionel, have you any interesting things to say about this? What you're fascinating me. I don't have to say anything. You have it all figured out. MI6, Opus Dei, and we don't know anything. We don't know. We don't even know. I don't even know if there was a confession. Did you hear the confession? FBI, CIA. We're just going to throw it the way you go. Was there a confession? I'm not sure. Hey, guys, I was there. Who are these people on Discord? Why did it take this long? Do we even know? Where is this rifle that was wrapped up in all this stuff? Do we even know? Was there ballistics done on it? There's also some talk, there are still folks doing the hand signals and somebody using something on whatever. Oh, another confession was, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to say something. Do we know he even wrote any of this? Do you think it's possible for anybody to get to the Discord? I'm just saying and say, listen, we got to wrap this up. Give me some dialogue. Do these people exist? These other names? These people who were saying something big's going to happen, something big tomorrow. Who are these people? How did they know? Why is Kash Patel telling people ahead of time what's going on? Why is Kash Patel telling people ahead of time? Why? Why is Kash Patel telling people ahead of time? Why? Why? Does anybody know this? Does anybody know why is Kash Patel telling anybody any of this stuff now? Why are you setting the groundwork for some potential, I don't know, mistrial, or I don't know what? Why are we doing this? What was the actual, why are you saying these things? He is on the roof doing something. I guess that's him. Sean says FBI narrative replete with BS. One man's opinion. What is BS? Sean, you got to tell me something. Why do you think it's bullshit? What in particular? I'm not saying the story is BS. I'm saying, what about this? I'm asking. Why weren't there drones there? Why won't the mainstream media talk about what everybody in the world is discussing, specifically with Max Blumenthal and others? Tim Dillon, Dave Smith, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, the biggest names, and you're going to put Ben Shapiro right away? Moves in and says, I'll take over. No way. No. Max Blumenthal said, I don't know if you saw this. I didn't see this, but he said that Netanyahu immediately said Israel wasn't involved right away. Carla, the cooking CEO, says, where is the bullet? This administration is about the show and optics. Nothing of consequence gets done. It's a great question. Where is the round that was fired? Was it ever recovered? If you can connect and say, yep, that's it. Something tells me that you shouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden the fate of this young man mimics that of Mr. Epstein. Don't be surprised. Why? It would sure answer a lot of questions, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Cut Up Chatter says, why did they collect the cameras within 5 minutes? Why did they? And where I need somebody to go over this, the actual evidence collected versus what made it into the news. That's what I want to know. These are the issues, ladies and germs, that I find so fascinating. These are the issues. Now, I'm not saying something is bullshit or something is true. I don't know. I'm asking questions. That's what you have to ask. Don't bring up MI6. What do you, MI6? Opus Dei. Deus, Dei. of God. That's the genitive singular of Deus. Don't bring that. Don't do that. That doesn't make any sense. Scientology, Freemasons, the hobgoblins, Hell's Angels, the mafia. No, stop it. This is where we look like fools because there's no evidence of this. Well, I did read a book. No. No, 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 no. No. You should have heard this morning on WABC. It would have blown your mind. I happened to mention something about the moon landing. And I said, I am not one to necessarily believe or not believe. I said, there's a lot about the story that I'm not sure about, but I have a lot of questions, a lot of things about it. Carla says wisely, no ambulance, no hospital arrival, video, nada. He was taken in the back, I believe. I'm sure he was taken to the hospital. I don't know where that video is. Carla might just be like, we didn't see it. I don't know. But that's a very good point. That's the first one. Find this. But this morning we were going through this, and I said, I've got a lot of questions about this. I said, but I can't say we never landed on the moon. I'm not sure. I don't know if I believe the official narrative because there's just too many questions. And it's just very strange. A lot of questions. And the first question you have to believe is it possible that this could have been, in fact, falsified? Is that even possible? Is that remotely possible? The other issue remains, and this is critical. The other issue remains something even more important. And that is the following. How do you think this could have been carried? This is, for example, how do you think this could have been carried off if it was indeed a lie without maybe our enemies bringing up the fact that, this isn't true or whatever. Okay, so what people said was, this is very interesting. They said, one guy said, I know it's true because I saw it when I was 10 years old. So did I. I saw a TV of it. Somebody said, my uncle or somebody worked on the LEM, the Lunar Landing Module. I said, what does that have to do with anything? Well, my uncle worked on it. I said, yeah, but what does it have to do with actually that? And there's no critical thinking. There's no connection. One was, we lived in a place where we invited over for supper or to eat Alan Shepard and Buzz Aldrin. We even played Buzz Aldrin saying, we never went there. Remember that one? So people are saying, you don't understand. I saw this. Oh, another person said, don't you see how the officers and the technicians were laughing and clapping, and no acting could do this? And I thought, wow, there is so much there is no critical thinking. We have no detectives. Mark Tenner says, Luigi is going to walk. Why do you say that, Mark? Why is Luigi going to walk? A plain old second-degree murder. Why do you think he's going to walk? Why? Why do you think? Polka Dot Suzanne, we didn't reach the moon. What? I think it's like 7 times? Why do you say this? Other countries have imaged the landers left behind from orbit. Are you sure about that? I don't know. Wow. Are you sure? There's no way that they said we could see them from here. No. How do I say this? They said that some of the that the resolution is 240,000 miles away. I mean, you can see big craters, but you can't. So anyway, but it's one of those things. Polka Dot says never. Okay. Why do you say that? Okay. Sure enough, for me, is the sky blue today? Looks like it. Yeah. We know why, though. You know why the sky is blue versus green, right? You understand that? I saw David Copperfield disappear the Statue of Liberty. Remember the Liberty? There you go, Liberty. Don't forget the Liberty. Prisms on the moon. You were talking about some device that we shot something at it and it turned around and came back. I love this one. We can be here speculating all day. What's the point? Collecting information of our conversation? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? What I'm saying is, the question is that, what do you think people, nobody, it's okay to say, I don't know this. I'm a civilian. I lay tile. I'm just a regular citizen. I think this is a little bit, I'm not feeling good about this. Maybe I need to do more, but I don't have any information one way or the other. And what you do is you see this because we just throw these things out, and we love the dance of what you call conspiracies. We love it. It's exciting, it's groovy, it's tantalizing, it's tasty, it's beautiful. And the thing is, this is wonderful. But it says here, it's just an open form of mind so that we can split all of these things because something is fishy. I like that. But the thing which is the most interesting now is, I don't know. Let's see what they say. But Cash Patel, who, by the way, I still love, he looks like a cartoon hypnotist, or he looks like somebody with Charlie Manson whispering in his ear. I find it fascinating. So what we need to do, my friends, is simply this. Remember this. There's two issues here. What's going to happen to Turning Point? If it is true that Charlie feared, worried about Netanyahu, AIPAC, Ackman, all these other people, then for you to suggest putting Ben Shapiro or Mark Levin in there, he'd roll over in his grave. No. Dear God, no. Nick Fuentes, the Groypers, who couldn't stand Charlie Kirk, but now all of a sudden they love him. I don't think so. That's bad PR. We need somebody to carry on. Christian. Ben Shapiro? With all due respect. That's like having an atheist. No, you want a Christian leader. That's what Charlie was about. It was about, and I think wasn't she a Catholic? I don't remember exactly who's Catholic versus Christian or what have you. But that is the issue. Look how the vultures are moving in. And the other issue is, when will the Republicans do something? When will the Republicans do something? When will the Republicans do something with all of this incredible firepower, this youth, people who are ready to go, people who are absolutely, positively, 100% involved in this young people into church and Christianity and morals, and oh my God, it's the most wonderful thing in the world. Also, Erica, and Mrs. Allen and I were talking, Erica guaranteed will make a pilgrimage. Will make a pilgrimage, or not pilgrimage, but she will meet with her husband's accused assassin and forgive him, as the Christian thing to do. He will also make sure, that she will also forego the death penalty, because Charlie would have wanted that. Vivian says, you were so wrong. Now Alex Jones say this was scripted and there was a second shooter. So according to you, Alex is a conspiracy theorist too? I don't know what that means. You were so wrong. Now Alex Jones says this was scripted. Why was I wrong? What does Alex Jones have to do with my being right or wrong? And there was a second shooter. Okay. Again, with all due respect, let me make sure he said that. I don't know. So according to you, Alex is a conspiracy theorist too? No. I'm trying to say there could be a second shooter. Where is the evidence of it? Where is the evidence of it? Versus a second shooter, how about the real shooter? How about he never got off a round? How about the sound? The crack of that rifle. By the way, perfectly coordinated. The crack of that rifle was perfectly coordinated to the neck wound. Absolutely, pow, just perfect. Could not have been by happenstance. Not a second shooter. What if he wasn't the shooter? That's a possibility. How do we find out? Zev says, Patel had a hearing today. He knows what he's doing. He's not going anywhere. Really? Really? You think so? You think so? You think so? You can come anytime. What you know. I told him any time. All right. So here's the thing. I don't know. Okay. I know that's at 1. So here's the issue, my friends. The issue is very simply this. We don't know anything. We don't know anything. I don't know. He could be the shooter. They might say, no, we've recovered the bullet. We're not going to tell you that. Maybe there's one thing they won't tell us. Or it was another shooter. Or he's not the shooter. He was the patsy. Or. And all of this is just logic, possibilities. That's all. That's all. The dude is the killer. What dude? What are we talking about? I don't know who these dudes are, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll see. But you see how we're not talking about Charlie. And I think we've gone too far. We might have gone too far. That's why if he were to be Epstein, it would put an end to all of this. It is conjectural. It's not only conjecture, it's like we don't know anything. For all you know, Tyler could say, I never can confess to anything, nothing, ever. I never confessed to anything, not one single story, nothing. No, and the Discord people, there are no Discord people, none. Isn't that interesting? I know people think that's crazy. But who are these Discord people? And how did they theoretically know something ahead of time? Does that make any sense to you? And also, this business about Israel, what does it have to do with the shooting? That may be a separate issue. He may have felt tremendous, let's say, actual pressure to change his tune or whatever. But that doesn't mean that Israel had anything to do with this. I mean, just logical. You might say, USS Liberty. USS Liberty. I don't know about that. So we really don't know the right question to ask about. And the problem is, as long as we remain here as civilians and not in the throes of things, we don't know. More people might come forward. More phones, more evidence, more what have you. But it very well could be that this person acted alone, and that seems to be the only accusation being made. So, okay, that's it. You're going to have to beef that up before I feel better about it. Or maybe when the time comes and there is a trial, perhaps, maybe we'll know more information. It might make complete and total sense. Lionel, I'm sure you've explained this before, and I apologize in advance, but I must have missed it. Can you explain why you dislike Patel? He's incompetent. He's incompetent, and he also wants to be a star. And Pam, you see what Pam Bondi said about hate crimes? She's out of her mind. I'm sorry. It's she and Patel and Dan Bongino are YouTubers and stars wannabe. They want to be stars. And Kash Patel, I don't want to read too much into his background, but I would imagine probably, maybe in his life, I could see him having a tough time as a kid. And I could see him also perhaps using this time. I'm just saying, I'm just completely spitball. I have no information whatsoever. But he likes to be the star. And what they said about Epstein when they came out was the worst. They had the information. They didn't have the information. They had the files. And Pam Bondi, the worst of the worst. No. He is no FBI agent, no FBI director at all. He's still giving information now, which is so vague. He's going on cable news shows, going on different. Why? Because they want to be a star. They don't want to be in the weeds, in the background. They don't want to be that quiet, lone figure like a Bob Mueller who was pulled out reluctantly. That was William Webster. You know, those guys, those were serious, serious, actual FBI folks who kept their mouth shut, who didn't like the limelight, who didn't like all that stuff, who were there stewarding the helm, but not somebody. There's also a lot of talk about Cash fired a lot of good people. I don't know about that. I got to look into that more. So we'll continue with that one. So anyway, ladies and germs, thank you for this. Thank you for sharing your day with us. Thank you for being a part of this. Are we closer to finding who was truly behind the horror? I hope so. But nothing that we've been able to see in the news. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they keep us quiet. But remember, sitting back and just guessing and throwing out names, Opus Dei and what? Well, I read a book about that. Huh? What? Scientology. What? Scientology. The Masons. Just throw things out. The Illuminati. The Templars. Okay. That's why they call us crazy. But you know what? Better to have an active imagination than none at all. All right, dear friends, don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors on YouTube, Lynn's Warriors. And until we meet again, my friends, thank you so much. And remember, as we always say, dear friends, as we always end with this valedictory, this little exit. Oh, and don't forget, preparewithlionel.com. Make sure you find out. The link is in the description. Hey, listen, not for me. It's for you. It's for you. Monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue you. That.